So in this week's What Wednesday question, we're going to answer the question, what do you do when it comes to concerns you might have about your child living in an RV?
What?
We get the question a lot, what we plan on doing when it comes time for our daughter to go to school. And that's been something that we've talked about. The good news is we have a little bit of time to decide when it comes to that because she just turned 2. I think for us, we haven't quite made that decision yet. We have discussed the option of when it's time for school, and if we decide we want to put her in a public school, we've thought that we would settle down, buy something maybe small, and we would love to keep an RV and still travel because we love what we're doing.
We've talked about the other option of homeschooling, and I'm not going to open a debate of which one's better or which one to do, because thankfully we're not there yet. It's kind of the mindset you have to have when you're RVing, is you just kind of take it as it goes and take what's handed in front of you, because there's just no way to know on a lot of stuff, especially when it comes to your child.
And I think they're both, public school and homeschooling, are great options for education, so I don't feel like we could go wrong either way. And we have a lot of friends and church members that are homeschooling, and we've kind of discussed that we are gonna see how it goes with them and get some feedback from people that have homeschooled and kind of see if that would be a great option for us as far as our daughter's education.
Another concern that's been brought up is her privacy. I know as kids get older, sometimes, if we had multiple kids, for instance, if they want their own room, their own space, I guess in theory she could have her own space. Be like, here's your bed, here's your space. But again, that one's tough. I don't know, if we had a fifth wheel or a really large vehicle of some sort, maybe we could create more separation, but
Can always change our living situation as far as what we're traveling in. And I have brought up that many of times is what do we do if this happens or that happens? And another concern is we've got the question, what happens if you have more children? And obviously that's something we've discussed and we want to do. But that's the great news, is we can just change the motorhome that we're living in and go to something that fits our need at the time. I know I'm kind of like, what are we going to do in the future kind of person, and Nathan's more of the let's live in the moment, and when it happens we'll make changes. So that's kind of how we've had to roll with it.
And that's scary to do. But the good news, and the thing we've told ourselves, is worst case, if our kid needs more privacy, the other part of the question is if we have more kids, we can always just sell what we got and go back to a house. We can rent, we can live in a house. There's definitely options. The question to ask yourself is, will I regret not making that leap to an RV if you're in a situation where you think you could pull it off?
And I feel like we could make tons of excuses not to try this. If you wait for everything to be perfectly aligned, and say, well, we can't do that because what if we have more kids, or she's going to outgrow that play area in there, what are we going to do? If we're constantly doing that, then we would never make the leap and just live this great adventure that we're living. Another concern of ours and questions we've gotten as well is our daughter socially and how she plays with other children, and if she's getting that interaction she needs, because she gets plenty of mommy and daddy time, that's for sure. We try as much as possible to take her to playgrounds and let her interact with kids. We've even had we've met some kids at playgrounds, and we even had a play date in Austin.
And we want to do a better job of connecting with other families that are doing this. So if you are traveling full-time, let us know where you're at. if we're in the area, we'd love to meet up with you. With our lifestyle we actually go home every 7 weeks or so. We'll go home for a week or two, and so that also gives our daughter a chance to reconnect with the grandparents and the family and friends at home. So it's not like we're away from home 365 days a year.
So hopefully we've kind of touched on some of those concerns or fears that you have with RVing with children. And if you have any questions or comments, let us know.